Now, we're with the National Sales Director from the Mortgage Advice Bureau, Gareth. Now, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem.
Just starting off really with the main issues with regards to the intermediaries and what they're going to face, would you say, in the coming months, especially with big changes to regulation, when it's continuing to change the way that advisors do business?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've seen a lot of change this year already. I think the sector's very good at coping with change. I think advisors need to make sure that they work closely with lender partners and protection providers, understand the changes, self-invest in their own knowledge, and make sure they read up on such useful newsletters, industry press. And as long as they do that, they will cope with the changes that are going to be facing us. I think the main thing is to concentrate on your own profession, be the best you can be. And funny enough, it becomes easy. The consumer should be at the heart of it. And you just got to make sure the consumer's at the heart of it. Everything else flows quite nicely if you self-invest.
Yeah. Now, do you think their roles have significantly changed since the likes of, given the RDR and the MMR, etc., or not?
I think it's had to change. I think, with mortgage market review coming in, I think a lot of advisors that need to work with lender partners a lot closer. I think that's a good thing. I think also they've got to make sure that when they're fact-finding the right way, and speaking to clients, that they do the budget planner the right way, they ask the right questions, and also make sure they package that case up properly with full advice and recommendation. If you do that, it makes it easy for lender partners. The cases get passed first time, and if you get it right the first time, it makes it so much easier. Then you're not letting consumers down, and more importantly, you're doing the right job for that client.
Now, with regards to the FCA, they recently reviewed the comparison site sector and found it to be lacking, or in some cases pretty dangerous for consumers to choose deals based on the lowest rate. So in your opinion, what do you think is going to be done or could be done to discourage the use of these sites, especially when brokers can offer a much more comprehensive and informed service?
Well, my view is full advice and recommendation, which I stated a moment ago. It's so important that as an industry, we put that forward to consumers. Comparison sites are what they are, the comparison sites. It's still important they get that advice, they sit down with someone or speak to a professional and understand what choices are available, and someone's going to say, this is what I advise you to do, this is what I recommend you do.
Yeah.
That's so important. Comparison sites won't do that. I always say, if you charge on price, you lose on price as well. You've got to make sure that you get the best service. You wouldn't want to go to a comparison site for a doctor, would you?
Exactly.
It's the same for our profession, in my view.
And I think there's nothing better than the personal touch, the face-to-face, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of clients use comparison sites, but I still think they go away and want to speak to someone and look someone in the eyes and say, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
And that's where advice comes in. Yeah. And I think it's really important that in our profession, like accountants and solicitors, we should be proud of what we do, charge what we're worth, and do a really professional job.
Yeah. Now, getting on to the remortgage market, what do you foresee in the coming months?
That's an interesting one. I think things are already, the remortgage market, I know there were signs in August that it slowed down a bit, but the reality is, depending on what our friends do at the Bank of England, and it sounds to be spring, but given a predict in the future, I think it's a good time to be looking at those client banks, looking at when the last time you spoke to that client. Quite often with brokers, it could be the last time they've done their first mortgage or their last remortgage. I would be communicating with that client bank now. I'd be making contact with them and talking about options now, because when rates suddenly do move, Bank of England rate moves suddenly, those clients are going to be wanting to talk to you. Get in first, get communicating first, be interactive with those clients and make sure they understand what options they've got. Because they're not looking yet, they're waiting. Some of them are waiting.
Of course.
Okay.
And of course it's a great way to try and foster relationships between the banks and the mortgage brokers.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I think most importantly, everyone benefits from the customer having great service. The lenders, us as brokers, and if we work closer together, which I've enjoyed seeing at the Expo, certainly meeting some of our lender partners, it's been refreshing to see people smiling and upbeat, and I think that's good for us. I think the market's in a good place, and I think the remortgage market will increase, and I think it's going to be good for all of us. But it's important to really get your client bank motoring now.
Yes.
Waiting, consumers have got so many choices. As a broker, you should be on top of your client bank, but I'm sure they are.
Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking the time out and enjoy the rest of the expo.
That's great. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Gareth.
Cheers. Thank you.